You got to have tenants. You have good tenants. You have to have problems solved. And, personally, and I'm in the industry, you get busy with other stuff. If it's not your primary thing, things don't get done as quickly. You just lose money slowly and you don't notice it. So I stress that those buy and hold investors definitely need to have that property management partner that helps them out.
And when you're evaluating a deal, I'm curious what the decision looks like when you're deciding whether it's a fix and flip or a buy and hold. What are kind of the things you look at to make that decision?
Well, a lot of times, if it's kind of made at the beginning, because if we can fix and flip it, we'd rather. And the reason for that is that we don't have to then we don't have to put it into permanent financing. We don't have to find an end user buyer because we're not in the management business. So we're not at this point in our our development wanting to build a larger portfolio. We don't have a fund behind us as kind of a buy and hold fund behind us. So our primary focus is always going to be fix and flip. Now that could change as we kind of move out of phase one and we look to leverage additional partners or money. We may end up sending set up a small fund to take properties that aren't good retail flips and put them into a rental portfolio. But what we're happier to do now is to focus on fixing and flipping, and that flip then goes to either maybe eventually a portfolio that we have, but until then to another investor if it's not going to go to an owner user. Typically, the only difference between selling to an investor versus selling to an owner occupant is money and time. And so if most properties that are going to be in the 400 to 500, above that price point aren't good in rental investments because they don't return the cap rates that are necessary. So some of it is strictly driven by the value. A lot of what we've bought kind of wheelhouse has been buy it for about 185, put about 50 in it and sell it for about 350. And those are rough numbers. The problem with 350 is not a lot of investors want to buy that in that price point. So, but like the deal we've bought, the fire damaged house, we bought it for 20. We're going to put about 93,000 into it, and it should retail in the 160 to 170 price point. So that would be a great rental investment. And that may be what we'll look to do, which is even before we've finished it, we might push it out to investors and say, this is a bird in the hand. If you can give us this price, we'll sell it to you now. And now what's the benefit of that? Because maybe if we stick it on the market, we sell it for 5 or 10 grand more. Well, there's risk. We have a property on the market now that's been on the market for coming up 60 days that we thought we would sell for 350. We're now down at 309, getting ready to go to 299. So every once in a while, things just don't work right. And to have an exit for that's a bird in the hand is where we would really love to be. Because for us, it's about velocity. A lot of wholesalers, a lot of fix and flippers, it's not about maximizing the return, it's about turning the money.